Hi everybody, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. We are Arne and Carlos,
Yes, we are.
and we are getting ready for Christmas now. Today we are going to do it podcast style. So all you need to do is sit down, kick back, and enjoy, and watch us knit a Christmas ball as we talk about Christmas traditions and our book, 55 Christmas Balls to Knit. So let's just clear the table and let's start knitting.
Yes. So we will make the Dovre ball
Yeah.
from the julekule calendar. This one,
It's one of my favorite balls.
21.
I love this one because it's got quite an even amount of pattern. I mean, it's half of it is in white, half of it is in red, approximately.
I have a lot of favorite balls.
Yeah,
but
this is a really nice one.
this is nice.
Yeah, and we're working, as you can see, on the merino, Schachenmeier Merino Extra Fine 120, which is a DK yarn,
Yeah.
and needle 2.5 or
I think
3.
I used 2.5 this time because I want my ball to be a little bit smaller.
Yeah, but everybody, you don't have to really fixate yourself too much on the size of the needle.
No.
It's not a
Whatever
garment.
you want.
You're not going to wear this.
Then you're not going to wear the ball.
It doesn't
Maybe
matter.
you put the ball in your hat or in your
Yeah,
hair. Or
but it doesn't matter because, I mean, usually the size is just an indication of whether the ball
Yeah.
will be smaller or larger.
Oops.
Did you do something?
I split more.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
I guess it is a little bit difficult to talk and do this at the same time, but this is something that we've wanted to try now for some time. We love radio.
Yeah, but I wonder how my tension will be when I knit and talk at the same time.
Well, it doesn't really matter, Arne, because this is, as you know, as I want to emphasize, this is not a tutorial. If you want the tutorial, we've done it. We did it on December 2, 2015. There's a video. You can go there, go to our blog, do it on our YouTube channel, click on the video, you'll get the tutorial. This is a nice conversation. We're talking about Christmas, we're talking about the balls, we're talking about inspiration, and we're not teaching.
So let's tell a little bit about the pattern.
Okay.
Because this ball, we call this ball we call the pattern on this ball. Sorry, it's hard to knit and join and talk. We call the pattern for the Dovre pattern, and that's because my grandparents had a jacket called the Dovre jacket, and it had this pattern all over.
Yeah.
So we call it Dovre. It's probably another name, but we don't know the other name.
No, but it's actually a very famous pattern.
It's used a lot.
Well, you know, it's most famous because when Norway was invaded by the Germans during World War II,
And the royal family had to flee.
the royal family had to escape Norway, and Crown Prince Harald, who is currently our king, he wore a little sweater, and it was actually knitted in white and red, and had this pattern of little squares and little X's.
I think that was on the top and all the way down to the waist. And then around the waist, he had these figures that were like men and women dancing, holding their hands.
Yeah.
That's one of the patterns we also used in our Christmas ball book.
Yeah.
And we called it, in Norwegian, we called it gang rundt treet.
Yeah, the dance around the tree.
Dance around the tree.
Yeah, and so this pattern, we call it Dovre because it originates from there, we believe. But it's known in Norway as Prince Harald's pattern.
Yeah.
So it's a lovely little thing.
And used a lot.
Yeah, and the idea behind the whole Christmas ball book, when we did it, was that we wanted to take these traditional Norwegian patterns, some known, some less known, and we wanted to find a new way to use them. Because, you know, people nowadays, they're so stressed, they don't have time to knit big sweaters, but they still want to knit and they want to do something quick. And, you know, when you do a ball, that takes about an hour, and we're not going to be fast forwarding, I think, this video at all. I think we're going to just knit it, and you'll see it's going to take about an hour to do this. And that's the beauty of it. You use a traditional pattern, you work for a very short period of time, and by the end of the day, you've got your Christmas ball, it's finished, you get results, it's amazing. And I mean, the richness of Norwegian and Scandinavian patterns that we have in our culture is incredible.
There's a lot of patterns to take from.
Yeah, and I mean, our book is called 55 Christmas Balls to knit.
Could do more.
We could have done 555.
We've done a lot of balls after we did the book, like the 21 in this catalog.
Yeah.
That we're knitting from now. So there you have 24 more.
Yeah. I think that this is just indefinite. You could do so many things. And I'm glad that today for our podcast, we're focusing on a traditional pattern because we've also designed a few patterns.
We did many patterns ourselves.
Yeah, that are more connected to Christmas. Like there's a little Christmas pig, there's a little angel. Those are not traditional. Those are the kind of the Christmas twist that we had to do because we were doing balls. But this is one of the pure traditional patterns. And it really helps us come into this Christmassy atmosphere.
Yeah.
We love Christmas.
We'll always look for Christmas. Oh, sorry, I'm increasing here.
Okay. Are you doing a great job, Arne?
No, I'm not. I'm finished. I'm not increasing now. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So, and when the first snow comes, then we're like really in the Christmas mood as soon as there are snow outside.
Yeah, but there's something you're not telling our
No, I'm
audience.
focusing. Sorry.
Yeah, no. What I was going to say was, you say when the first snow comes, you get all in your Christmas spirit. But tell people.
I'm in the Christmas spirit all the time.
Yeah, and
like when we travel, I find Christmas decorations everywhere.
Okay, so tell everybody, when do you start planning Christmas?
In January?
Yes.
Or I never stop.
Exactly.
I always think about Christmas. But it's especially nice when the snow arrives.
Yeah, because then you can just start decorating and putting all those gorgeous things on the tree. And it's just, Arne is very, very orientated towards Christmas.
And I just have to say, if people are watching carefully what I'm doing now, some people might wonder, what the heck is he doing?
So what the heck are you doing?
Oh, I'm cheating something here. Some places I have to cheat because if I increase the normal way, I stretch the color. That's why I am cheating. I'm moving the increasing around. But I won't tell you how, or I don't go into that now.
I want to and I really want to emphasize, this is not a tutorial.
It's not a tutorial.
This is a nice conversation between you and me. We're sitting here, we're talking, we're trying to, reenact our Christmas memories.
Yeah, and we try to knit and talk
at the same time, which is complicated, but it's doable. And I'm actually loving this format because it really is radio, and I love radio. I love waking up, especially because we have such a dark, long winter here in Norway, and you wake up in the morning at 8:00 and it's dark, and it's lovely.
And
just
at
going
9, it's dark.
Yeah, and then just going down, putting on the radio, getting your cup of tea, and then just sitting down in this darkness and listening, maybe light a few candles.
Oh, that's nice in the morning.
And listen to your favorite radio show and do some knitting, because you can listen and you can knit, which is just wonderful.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I knit, like, when I'm really into it, I can knit 2 balls in the morning or 1. It depends on
the design,
or if I have other things to do. But it's always nice before Christmas to make a Christmas ball in the morning.
Yeah, and we figured out that I am exactly, you knit double as fast as I do, so I'm exactly half your speed. Mm-hmm. So if you say you could knit 2 balls, I could probably do 1. Yeah. It would have to be one of the easier. Dovre I could definitely do in 2 hours.
But the cool thing is that if people have looked at the Christmas ball that I made and the ball that you made, they won't see any difference.
That's true, yeah. We're pretty good at...
tension is almost the same.
Yeah. And that's this whole talk about Norwegian tension versus, when you knit the American or the British way, where our tension is more even because we are knitting... Well, what are you doing now?
Sorry.
Yeah. Whoops.
Whoops.
You did it again.
Where did that... I guess I cheat.
Yeah, well, it's okay. I mean, it's a conversation.
Something happened, but I don't know what happened. Yeah. So let's just knit. No one will look inside the ball anyway.
Yeah, I mean, for a guy, you're pretty good at doing 2 things at the same time. I do have to say.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. I mean, look, you're getting the ball. It's getting there.
You see, I'm very tight. What do you say? Uptight?
No, you're not uptight. You're knitting tightly
this morning.
No, you're just knitting tighter.
My tension seems to be harder than before.
Yeah, but anyway, it looks good. I mean, it's getting really good. What were we talking about now? I don't know.
You talked about tension.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because the tension is more even. And
I made a mistake, but don't look at it.
Oh, but I mean, you're fixing it, aren't you?
I'm just checking tension.
Yeah, it should be okay. But yeah, it's easier to do a good tension when you're knitting the Scandinavian way. So at the end of the day, it's quicker and the tension is better, and therefore we can do the Christmas morning ritual in December where we can get up and knit a ball or two.
And then you look at the way, like when the way we knit, the yarn doesn't come from, or the two colors doesn't come from each one side each. So we don't have any of those problems.
Yeah. So as you can see now, the ball is growing slowly but steadily. It's going to become a ball. This is actually the pattern that we did for Schachenmeier. It's a simplified Christmas ball. And originally it came by request from Japan. We had the Christmas ball book published in Japan, but they were saying that the Christmas balls were too big for Japanese Christmas homes.
Yeah, as we have to shrink our balls.
Yeah, because everything in Tokyo is small, so they wanted little Christmas balls for little Christmas trees in small apartments in Tokyo, I guess. And so we had to shrink them. And we ended up doing this simplified pattern, and then we decided that we wanted to publish it with Schachenmeier because they had the launch of their beautiful Merino Superfine that year, and we really wanted to do this together with them. And yeah, we got a really beautiful little Christmas. We call it an Advents calendar because there's 24 patterns here.
A ball a day, that's good.
Yeah,
you need a ball a day.
And you can get this one for free if you go back to the first tutorial we ever did on December 2nd, 2015, and we uploaded the patterns there. So just go to our blog, arnecarlos.com, and you'll be able to get the pattern there, and you'll also be able to see the tutorial, which is available. This is not a tutorial. This is just us fooling around.
We say that all the time, but every now and then we have to tell things.
Yeah. So Arne, let's talk a little bit about Christmas projects. So
we do a lot of Christmas projects. It's like it's very cozy when the snow comes and it's dark in the evening and you can have tea or wine and you light all the candles.
I love wine in the evenings.
That's nice. And the fireplace.
And then closer to Christmas, you can just barely heat the wine. Just a little bit. You don't want it to boil because you don't want to lose the alcohol.
You can do that all year.
Yeah, but you can heat the wine slightly, and then you can add some fruits. You could do nuts. You could do, I hate raisins, but like orange peel,
I like
cardamom, cinnamon, and you can do a nice warm Christmas wine.
Almonds.
Almonds are great, yeah.
It's good.
And that will warm you up, and at the same time you get into that Christmas spirit that we're definitely getting into now.
That's what we call Greg.
Yeah. And I love it. All those spices, the smell just spreads all over the kitchen and into the home.
And then you can bring out your Christmas
stuff. Yeah. And do Christmas workshops.
Yeah. Because you have to do some new decorations every year.
Yeah. So, and we've done it all. I mean, we had a period.
We've been through everything.
Yeah. We had a period when we did angels.
Yeah.
With the kids.
Carton.
Yeah.
We had made a YouTube video on that.
Yeah. That was the second tutorial we posted on 2015. So you can just search for Christmas angels and you'll get it. Yeah. And that one we did with kids, nieces and nephews and other friends, kids.
First time we did them was with kids. That was
No. First time was with adults.
Okay, okay.
And they were behaving.
Adult kids.
Adults
behaved like kids when they saw all the stash we got, because we brought us these suitcases with pearls and lace and silk and a lot of beautiful stuff. And then people go crazy when they see all this nice stuff. Yeah,
absolutely. Little beads, little pearls, little buttons, little pipe cleaners, everything.
And talking about buttons, we did some really nice Christmas decorations from all our old buttons because we can't throw them away. So we made these ornaments, like the Victorian ornaments, where you put like a lot of...
Oh, yeah.
You can put... we put it like... there in all the buttons... if you have a lot of buttons, there's always a lot of ugly buttons, all the black and white, and they're all looking the same, but they have different size. So we just put them on wire in different sizes and made these shapes, and then we put on glue. And we roll them in glitter, and we put on ribbons,
and these were really inspired a little bit from the Victorian Christmas decorations that we saw. Actually, we bought some at the Royal Victorian Albert Museum, the V&A, a few years ago. And our tradition is not very Dickensian here. It's not Charles Dickens it's Charles Dickens and the whole Victorian thing. We are more.
I'm learning.
You learn all the time. No, we're more in the north.
Talking about that, I have to bring out my Dickens book again.
Yeah, but anyway, what I wanted to say was that. Our tradition is not that English Victorian Christmas. We have a different tradition. We'll get back to it later in our podcast, what we do here. But it was just so beautiful seeing all those Victorian Christmas decorations. There were violins, there were harps, there were guitars, there were beads in different kinds of sizes, and they were kind of really strung through just string, and they were so beautiful. And inspired by that, we had to do a few of our own things. We did a lot with buttons.
Because we had all these buttons. We got these buttons from a thrift store not far from here. It's closed down now. That's really sad. But he had a lot of buttons lying around, so he gave us a whole bucket.
Yeah, and then we did beads. We had different beads in different sizes, or fake pearls that we used as well, which is really great. And then, of course, we bought the instruments. I think we bought the harp, the violin. And there's a big cello, or is it a guitar, like an old... Anyway, and we actually added the harp as a Christmas ball decoration. I remember we used the Victorian Christmas decoration shaped as a harp as inspiration for a ball. So those were really nice, and that was a great Christmas workshop. And then last year, that was in 2016, wasn't it? We went to the UK. No, it was in February. In February 2016.
And I was still in the Christmas mood.
Yeah, in February, we go to the UK. We go visit our friends over at a lovely yarn store called Black Sheep in Warrington. You might know this area from Alice in Wonderland and the Cheshire Cat. So it's that area. And we were at Black Sheep, and Arne saw this yarn called tinsel.
That's so beautiful.
When I saw his eyes looking at that yarn, I only had 3 words in my brain. Oh my God, what is he going to do now? That's the whole thing. And then obviously I rolled my eyes 50,000 times because tell them what you did.
So I made this I-cord. I made Christmas tinsel.
Okay, first of all, we have to explain the yarn.
I just saw a knot on my yarn. That's why but I guess the knot will
It'll be okay.
Disappear.
Yeah. But anyway, the yarn was tinsel. It was called tinsel. It was acrylic. Yeah. It was very chemical. It was in all these gaudy colors that you can imagine.
They're beautiful. They're in beautiful colors. Okay. Come on, Carlos.
Okay.
Everybody needs some glitter for Christmas.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Not in those colors. And anyway, I mean, and it's this kind of yarn that you have the kind of like the string, and then you have this kind of acrylic hair sticking out.
Glitter.
So Arne figured that he could knit tinsel using the I-cord technique.
It's so beautiful. I have like a box, the box for cookies.
It's insane.
It's full of tinsel.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
insane.
don't know how many colors.
Well, you started with 7 colors because that's what they had.
I got more.
So they had 7 colors.
We're going back to.
You had 7 colors, and you bought 1 of every color, and then you knitted. And I think you told me that 1 ball of that yarn was enough for 6 meters. And with 7 colors, we have 42 meters of tinsel that we don't know what we're going to do with this year.
Put on the tree.
And then we went back because that's the thing. We were at Black Sheep again this summer.
I bought new colors.
Mm-hmm. And it's insane.
I have to check the tension. Yeah, and we're going back there, so you never know. There might be new colors.
Yeah. So yeah,
I
the
don't know where
tinsel.
to put it, but
I'd show it to you guys, but I prefer not. I like the fact that we're sitting here, we're knitting a Christmas ball, a beautiful little Christmas ball, and the tinsel is still tucked away safely in a box somewhere. Hopefully, it will be forgotten. Probably not, because I know Arne very
I just
well.
finished a blue one this week, and there's more to come.
Yeah, and what are you going to do with the tinsel this year? Do you have
I
a
don't
plan?
know. Because you don't like them on the Christmas tree, so I can't put it.
Well,
on
the problem
Christmas.
is, I don't mind putting a lot of stash on my tree. It's just that 42 meters of tinsel in, a very strong metallic blue, a horrific vomit green.
Okay.
You've
made
got,
a little bit too much color.
you've got the shocking pink. I mean, how can you put all that in one
Well,
tree?
you could.
Well, yeah,
I
I mean, everything's possible, but is it nice?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think I'm gonna.
Don't go into that discussion because it is nice. You're
Well,
confusing me.
well, I think we could maybe use it outside. How about that? We could decorate the outdoors with the tinsel.
No, because I'm afraid it will lose the color
Oh yeah, because of the cold.
because of
Yeah,
the
'cause
sun because there are sun and with the snow they can be
Yeah.
bleached.
And unlike wool, which is a natural material and will survive any temperature, this tinsel will probably freeze
I don't
and
want my
die.
tinsel to be bleached.
No, we don't want to bleach Arne's tinsel. No way.
But I have a plan for it because when we're going to build a garage for our Volkswagen,
Okay.
and I think the Volkswagen need to have its own Christmas tree.
Of course, yeah.
So we
well,
need a Christmas tree in the garage.
a Christmas tree
Come
for the
on.
Volkswagen, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
where the tinsel is.
people might know because we did post a few pictures, and I think we even posted a little video. Arne is the very proud owner of a Volkswagen Beetle from 1969, and it's just been restored. It's been in the making for many, many years. Maybe you could tell them a little bit about your car.
So yeah, it was my mother's third Volkswagen, and then she bought like a new one, a totally different car. I don't remember when, maybe in the 90s, early 90s. I don't know. No, in the 80s. And then she gave me the Beetle.
So it was
that
your first
my
car.
first car.
And you've kept it all these years. It's
Yeah.
so incredible.
Yeah, and I haven't driven it since. I think the last time I remember I drove the Volkswagen was the winter there was this Olympic Games in Lillehammer.
1994.
94. I remember I drove it in winter because I lived in a place called Gjøvik. And I remember I didn't want to go to Lillehammer because it was too much people there. And it was the coldest winter ever. But I had to drive through Lillehammer after school, I think I did. So I remember I drove through Lillehammer that time. So I think that was the last time. Or maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
but
and then
I haven't been on the road for many years.
yeah, it was then put in a barn for a while, and then from the barn it went to
Out in the woods.
out in the woods, and then about 20 years ago it was driven, or it was put on a truck
Yeah,
and driven here to
yeah.
where we live, and it's been here for it was here for a while before we started the
I
restoration
think it's
process.
for like how many years?
Well, in the meantime, we've been buying all the stuff, the new floor, the new chair, the new seats inside, everything.
No, it's like looks like it's totally new.
Yeah, like it's come out of the factory.
Yeah. So this summer we will go on a holiday in Norway,
Yeah.
bring our knitting and go to some nice places.
Yeah, the only issue I have with the car, or we have with the car right now, is that there's no heating inside. So it'll be pretty cold to drive it around in this at this time of the year. Although we do have winter tires for it.
We have, but it's too cold.
Yeah. So what we've done. Oh, look, what are you doing now?
Oh, I'm just pulling the yarn too much, and I don't want to have a less dominant color.
Oh yeah, obviously, yeah.
Oh God, I get dominant color.
I think you got too excited about the about us talking about your Volkswagen that you just oversaw that part there. But you know what? Everything's fixable. A lot of people, they tend to, when they see a
just
mistake,
stretch
they go back. They undo because they want it to be perfect.
I stretch.
I
something
prefer
like that.
I prefer your way to do it any day.
I know.
I mean, it's just knitting. Come on, there's no need to go back. There's no need to undo this just in order to get it all back and make it perfect. When
you
you can
know,
just
with-
pull it a little bit and it's fine.
Yeah, and with wet towel and the iron,
Magic.
magic.
There's so much magic in steaming, you wouldn't believe it. So people, don't be too hard on yourselves. This is just knitting.
Yeah.
In the end of the day, you make a little mistake, you forget to increase on one row, increase on the next one.
row.
It doesn't
I
matter.
do that all the time.
Yeah, and I mean, things just go the way they go. Don't put too much pressure on yourselves. You're supposed to be having fun, not making it hard on you. So I really have to say this because we do teach a lot of classes, and sometimes when people start unraveling things for the smallest thinkable reasons, I go, no, you've just used your quota. You cannot unravel this one more time or you're out.
Yeah.
And you know what? You unravel again, I'm kicking you out of my class because you are too hard on yourself and it takes away the fun for you. I'm not going to kick you out, obviously. I mean, it's just my way of saying that. Don't be too hard on yourself. Have a little fun, relax.
Yeah.
And it's just knitting.
It's just, and you're not
Yeah.
going to wear it, as we say.
So now I'm thinking about summer, right? I mean, I'm thinking about us driving the car, but then I look out the window and I see a frozen lake. I see a little snow.
Yeah.
I see that we should actually be getting into the Christmas spirit,
Yeah.
lighting up some candles.
I'm in the Christmas spirit already.
Well, yeah, but you aren't in the Christmas spirit in July.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you saw. We posted a picture of the tencel this summer because I was knitting tencel in the garden.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So if you want to see what the tencel looks like, I'm not going to show it to you here, but go to our Instagram, ARNE CARLOS, and check out the pictures we posted in the summer. And there's a picture of the tinsel there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun. Do you have any ideas of new projects we could do, Arne?
For Christmas?
Yeah, like knitting things.
I have some, but I won't tell anyone yet.
Oh, secret projects.
Yeah, but we had this Q&A where someone asked us to do some angels.
Yeah, but we did the paper angels.
Yeah, but we could do knitted angels.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's next year's.
Maybe. Yeah, and then we've got, of course, the cookies. We did a tutorial on your traditional cookies last year, and that one was very popular. A lot of comments. Lots of people in America of Norwegian descent recognized those cookies. Apparently, things that their forefathers brought with them when they left Norway and went to America, which was incredible. The response was so great.
That's cool.
So what's going on?
So I'm going to sew the hole now because I'm on the belly now. I'm finished with my increasing, so I think I just sew.
Yeah, that's a good
the
idea. Just
hole.
get it done, get the hole sewn, and we'll keep going.
The red I just pull it in there.
Yeah, but yeah, as I was saying, the people that responded, lots of Norwegian Americans or Americans of Scandinavian descent. It was so nice, and we wanted to do a new cookie tutorial this year. Unfortunately, and I mean now Christmas is almost upon us, so we have to tell you guys that we weren't able to because we screwed up the recipe.
I don't know how we could screw it up because that is the most
simple recipe
cookie in the world.
Yeah,
but I think we have to practice because I made these cookies with my grandmother, but I don't remember how we did it.
Yeah, the thing with cooking is that Arne is not the cook in this family.
No.
I do all the cooking, and I'm really good at cooking, but I'm not a good baker. And the reason why I'm a lousy baker is because I'm too creative. I have a creative brain, and so I can't follow any instructions. I get a recipe, and I always want to do my own twist because it's better this way, it's better that way, blah, blah, blah. And with baking, it's very precise, so you should follow the recipe to the letter. And you're doing it again.
I'm cheating.
You're cheating. Well, good for you. Just cheat as much as you want.
I knit very tight this evening. I don't know what's wrong with me.
It's okay. We're having a nice conversation.
And I'm even sewing the loose end from the red. I hardly never do that.
Yeah, but anyway, we're having a great conversation. We're enjoying ourselves, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, back to the cookie. Wow, I'm really good at keeping
you're
my...
getting better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have to practice that cookie.
We have to do it again, and I have to be more precise when I read the recipe. Problem again, today's recipes are made, for everybody. They're kind of foolproof. It says everything. You follow the recipe, you should get it. The recipe we've got for your cookie was written by, was it your grandma, your great-grandma? Who?
I think it's my mother who wrote it down.
From who?
From my great grandmothers.
And they were already good cooks, so it says kind of, it's not a very exact recipe.
No, they said like water and enough flavor.
Yeah.
And add butter.
Yeah, add butter. And then it says enough flour to make the dough.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that mean? How much flour is that?
Not too wet.
Yeah, and usually...
Not too dry.
Yeah, and usually if I'm doing something on my stove, if I'm doing it on a saucepan, if I'm doing it with stirring it and I'm working, on a surface, I can do it, no problem. As soon as it goes in the oven, that's a whole different story because I have no control of what happens in the oven. But I promise that next year we're going to do a cookie recipe for Christmas. We're really sorry we couldn't do it this year, but you should have seen us. We had flour all over. The kitchen was a big mess. I mean, it's the biggest mess I've seen in the kitchen for a long time. There was butter everywhere. And then when the stuff came out of the oven, I mean, because I couldn't even call them cookies.
No, they didn't taste like
they were like cooked on the outside, but they were raw on the inside. Maybe we've got some expert bakers listening to us, and maybe they're thinking, "Oh, I know what they did wrong." If you're listening to us, help, please. Tell us, what did we do wrong? We'd love to hear from you. Put it in the comment. Let us know, what did we do wrong?
I have to know what kind of cookies we were making.
Well, it was water, butter,
and
flour. I mean, water, flour, and butter. How difficult.
And the cool thing with these old recipes is that it says butter.
Yeah.
It's just butter.
Butter.
And nothing more.
Yeah.
And then in the old days, people knew that then you just use your fingers and you mix the butter with the flour. Is that mjölk?
Yeah.
Yeah. But some people probably will melt the butter.
Yeah.
And then it goes totally wrong.
Yeah. So it went terribly wrong anyway. That's what we want to say.
Next year.
But next year we'll try again, and I'm sure that at one point we will succeed. In the meantime, there will be a Christmas episode coming from us soon with cooking involved, but no baking.
No baking.
So, but we're not going to tell you because it's going to be a surprise. So
but
we
will
see.
make our TikToks again.
Yep.
Because those we can do.
Well, and remember, after doing the video, so much amazing feedback came from the video. That even our neighbor came to us and said, "Hey guys, I want to do them with you." So we're having our neighbor over.
She bought this new iron.
Yeah.
With like nice patterns. So we will make the TikTok with her.
Yeah, and now the lake is frozen. The lake is frozen, and she's going to put on her snowshoes and she's going to walk across. She usually can't do this in the summer, obviously. She'd have to swim. But now she can walk from one side to the other. It'll get her here quicker. She'll bring her rosettes.
And then we can do
we will teach her how to do the rosette cookies. Or actually, Arne will. Because that's the thing with Arne. I have to tell you guys, you wouldn't believe how bad of a cook Arne is. He is the worst of the worst. He can barely make coffee. Actually, no, you do good coffee.
I'm good
you do,
coffee.
Yeah, but that's it. He is such
I can do tea.
You could do coffee and tea, and then he's a really bad cook.
Noodles.
So he lets me do everything. I have to do everything. But then again, if for some reason I'd want to do Peking duck for dinner, I say Peking duck because I'm thinking that's probably the most complex thing in the world. I'm sure that I'm not sure. I know that if I gave Arne the recipe and said, make Peking duck for me, Arne, he would do it brilliantly. So there's something about there's something about Arne. He's a lousy cook, but give him a complex recipe and he will make it beautifully. And that's what happens with a rosette.
They're kind of hard to make.
They're really hard to make.
Say.
They're very hard to make.
I think they're the most
and Arne masters it beautifully. So much so that he was even invited to a Finnish TV show.
You will never forget that.
I will never forgive them for that.
You will never forgive them.
So we got invited.
And they show it in December every year on the Norwegian TV. They show this program before Christmas.
Yeah.
And I'm doing my TikTok.
Yeah, and it's a big slap in my face because I'm the cook here. I'm the one that cooks all the time. And then they have Arne. Now listen to this. This is just unbelievable. They loved us back in 2011 when our book came out in many different languages, the Christmas Ball book. And they booked us for this special food show that is recorded in Finland, but it's a Scandinavian or a Nordic. It's a Nordic show that presents food in the Nordic countries, and they invited us to participate in the Christmas special. And I was so excited about doing my recipes for the show, and they didn't want my recipes.
No.
They wanted Arne's TikTok cookies.
They brought Carlos to this place where they have fish.
Yeah.
With like
smelly fish.
Smelly fish.
And I had to talk about the fish. That's my contribution.
You didn't know anything about the fish.
Of course I did. I knew everything about the fish, but they didn't let me cook it because it's actually served raw. And then you do the whole cookie thing. And here's the worst thing. This is a very serious...
I just lost this stitch.
You lost the stitch?
No, but I just pulled it too tight.
Oh, okay. Well, you pull it up. No problem. No biggie. Anyway, what I was going to say was, here we are going to do the show. Arne is doing his TikTok. And then guess what? The chef from Maemo, the best restaurant in Norway, it has 3 stars now, I think. Well, at least 2 Michelin stars. The chef from there is also in the show. So there's Arne doing his bit. There's the chef of Maemo doing his bit. And I'm not doing anything. And I'm the one that cooks.
I'm just... I'm so sad for you. I just make a duplicate stitch here.
Yeah, let's do a duplicate stitch. As I said, no biggie. It's not a stressful thing. This is fun.
So, but you're on TV every December.
Every December, I get to see myself not cooking.
Walking in the snow.
Walking in the snow, freezing, because I remember it was so cold. And it was a crazy time. I remember that was back in 2011, the first year that our books went international. And by the end of that year, I think we recorded the show in early December. By the end of that year, I was dead. I was dead tired with all the traveling and all the work we had to put in. We never saw this coming. Never in our life could we have dreamt that the Christmas Ball book was going to be translated into 12 languages that year, and that every single country was going to be trying to pull us, in one direction or the other. No, come to France. No, come to Germany. No, come to Holland. No, we need you in Denmark. No, we want you to come to Sweden. No, come to Finland. It was just, was incredible.
We were just thinking having 1 year break from our old life because we worked as designers. Mm-hmm. So actually we had our own brand for many years.
Yeah, so now you're actually going back to 2010.
Yeah, and maybe made collections. So we just wanted to have a break and make a book about knitted balls.
Yeah, Christmas has always been special for us. Arne, would you like to celebrate Christmas in the Maldives next year?
No, thank you.
Why not?
Because I want to have cold weather and snow and go skiing.
Yeah, so you see, that's the thing. Christmas is too special for us. Actually, I'd never go to the Maldives for Christmas either. That was just to, show you how bad it is. That if we're choosing between Norway and the Maldives for Christmas, we'll stay here. And yeah, Christmas has a very deep meaning for us. And then with the Christmas balls, it just made it even stronger. Because now we're eternally known as, the Christmas boys. The ones that do knitted balls.
The boys with the balls.
Yeah. And the whole thing started already back in 2008 for us when we were doing our knitting line. It was a great line. It was very high end, super successful all over the world. we sold it in stores like Liberty's and Harvey Nichols and Barney's.
The
And-
last one seems like one stitch is gone, but
Oh, just increase
I pulled
one.
it too hard. No, I'm not about the increasing. I have to make a duplicate stitch.
Ah, okay. But do a duplicate stitch, you'll be fine. So anyway, we were doing our line and it was all going very well. And then we got discovered by Rei Kawakubo. Now you might wonder who Rei Kawakubo is. She is probably currently one of the most influential and avant-garde designers of high-end fashion in the world. She's huge. She's a cult
I think she got
person.
famous when she showed her first collection in Paris, and
in
it was
1980
in the
something.
80s, and it was all black.
And people were mortified. They called it Hiroshima chic.
Yeah.
And just this summer, she had the exhibition at the Met. I'm sure you all heard of the Met Gala, where all the celebrities come all dressed up, and they have this benefit gala at the Met, and then they have an exhibition for the whole summer, which is fashion related. Well, Rei Kawakubo is the second designer that is still alive that has had the privilege to have her own exhibition at the Met. And that was now last summer. She's incredible, and we were discovered by her back in 2008 and worked with her, collaborated with her on one collection. And it wasn't so that she hired us and then we did it for her. It was a co-branded collection. So it was an ARNE CARLOS Comme des Garçons, which is the name of her brand. It was the ARNE CARLOS Comme des Garçons collection. And the whole idea behind the collection was looking at traditions, looking at our heritage, but making it modern and making it new. And we did the whole traditional Norwegian sweater where we changed the pattern into the Space Invader, which became iconic and which you wore on the cover of the book. And that is how the whole idea of doing a book started.
Yeah,
It was
cool.
It was really cool.
And it was her people, or the people who worked for her, who found us in Paris, and they saw our collection that we made with the Norwegian-inspired knitwear. So they found us, and I guess they showed our stuff to her.
And then they wrote to us, and it was just incredible. And they told us that whatever idea we had, we were free to suggest. And this was for their Christmas special. Every year, she owns some very exclusive stores. And every year they do a Christmas special at the stores where they sell merchandise that is Christmas related and where they collaborate with known and lesser known designers. So we were lesser known designers that collaborated with her. We never met her. We never communicated with her. She's well known for being a recluse. She hardly gives interviews. And obviously we dealt with her through her team. But it was very, very, very incredible. It was a fun job.
To do.
We ended up doing the whole collection, 7 different colorways for a sweater, a Space
scarf.
Invader sweater. We did scarves, we did hats,
And
a
tote
dickie.
bag, and a dickie.
So a dickie is a little cowl. I love the word dickie though. It's such a cute word. So it reminds me of my childhood, like little things that you pull through your head and then you go daycare, stuff like that. So the little dickie. Very cute. We did a few. And we did a beautiful tote bag with Space Invaders that was crocheted. That was incredible. Obviously, we didn't do it ourselves. We designed it, and then it was all manufactured by our very high-end producers
At that time,
in Peru.
at that time, knitting was our hobby.
Yeah, hand knitting.
Hand knitting was our hobby.
And we were professional designers of making knitwear for a living.
And we made this Norwegian-inspired knitwear for all the big fashion stores. And that was before the Norwegian knitting trend came.
Yeah.
Or like, how do you say that? The trend with Norwegian-inspired knitwear.
And then on one of those workshops that are legendary now, the Arne Carlos Christmas workshop, where we invite our friends and kids, friends with kids, and then we set up a theme every year and we serve wine to the adults, and the kids they don't get wine, obviously.
No.
they get the same kind of Christmas wine idea, but alcohol free, and we just have a fun time. And back in 2008 we were doing a little workshop in November, because we start our Christmas workshops early, and we came up with the idea of knitting a ball.
They didn't make balls because they got too much sugar, so they were like running around.
Yeah, but we made the very first ball was made on a Christmas workshop. And then we looked at it and we said, hey, this looks fun. And then for some reason, because I felt that it fit in the theme of the Comme des Garçons Christmas special, where we were working with traditions, but we were reworking them in a modern way. So on the one hand, we had designed all these traditional looking Norwegian sweaters, but with the Space Invader, which was more of a modern motif. And then here we were doing a ball, but using the traditional pattern, which is kind of the same thing. So I wrote them an email. Hey, look at this idea. How about we knit Christmas balls for all your stores to decorate them?
Because
Wouldn't that be
did
nice?
they ask for anything?
No, they told me feel free to send us any ideas that you may have
because
whenever you want.
Yeah.
And I took them up on that.
Yeah.
I sent a picture, and within days they said, do it. And then they ordered 400 balls.
Yeah.
And when they ordered 400 balls, I got a little bit cold. I remember I panicked for a while, and then we actually made it fair trade with a company that we were working with in Peru, where they were donating the proceeds to the miners, because there were a lot of miners who had lost their jobs. And it was a great project, so we donated the proceeds as well. And the company made the balls for us, hand knitted. And we delivered 400 balls to the stores in Comme des Garçons, the one in Tokyo, Dover Street Market in London, the one in Paris, and the one in New York. And then we were so proud of our collaboration. I'm sure if you Google Arne Carlos Comme des Garçons, I'm not sure, I know. Google it and you'll find a lot of information concerning that collection. So anyway, we were super excited about this, and we decided in early December of 2008, we decided to go to Paris to see the store, and we were expecting to see our collection together with all the other brands they had collaborated with, and the Christmas balls. So we walk into the store, Arne, and tell them what happened.
We saw the collection, and then we also saw the Christmas balls, but they were sold for like €100 each. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that
for a
is a
ball.
lot of money for a ball.
At least they got paid for everything. It's like not when you go to one of these Christmas how you say that, Christmas markets.
Yeah,
And people are selling Christmas balls
for
and,
like $10.
Yeah, they take what the yarn cost. So
Yeah. So yes, and it was a super expensive thing to do. I mean, how can you put a price of €130 on a Christmas ball? I mean, yeah, the sweaters that we did for Comme des Garçons, they retailed at about $750 each. So it was really, really expensive. But I mean, on the other hand, it's high-end design made by Ray Kawakubo and ARNE CARLOS. So obviously it's worth the cost, I suppose, and a lot of people bought it because they sold out. But anyway, we were a little bit provoked over the fact that it was a provocation that the Christmas balls were so expensive, because it's such an easy and lovely thing to do, that we got so provoked that we decided that we wanted to do this for everybody. We wanted to include everyone.
Yeah, we had great fun making the balls, so we were thinking other people might have the same fun knitting these balls.
And that's how we came up with the idea of making the book, because we wanted to make it accessible for everyone. We wanted people all over the world to enjoy knitting Christmas balls. So we contacted Cappelen Dam, our Norwegian publisher. They loved the idea. They gave us a contract. I mean, the contract was ready at the meeting, which was incredible. And the rest is history. As you all know, the book became a massive hit in Norway. Bestseller list for, 40 weeks or something, just insane. And then it started getting sold to different countries, I think Christmas balls has been translated the most. Maybe it's up to like 12 or 13 languages.
Are you sure? Isn't that the knit and crochet garden?
No, it's Christmas balls. Always Christmas balls.
Always
Arne.
balls.
But yeah, and nowadays our books are like in 15 or 16 or 17 languages, something like that. I don't even know anymore. Russian, Japanese, South Korean, English, obviously, German. All over the world. Spanish, Italian.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then of course the next shock, because this was a big shock. We never saw it coming. We never saw the success in Norway coming, and it was incredible. But then imagine our shock when we find out that the book is going to be published in all these languages. And I'm sure that you could probably try and picture the look on Arne's and my face when we get the PDF file for the Christmas ball book, the English one. And we download the PDF wondering what the cover will look like. And we see immediately that the American publisher has decided not to change the cover. So we're on the cover, and then it says Christmas balls.
So
that's the biggest shock, because we thought that it was Christmas baubles. I even looked it up. It's Christmas baubles. So why did they put balls? It was a big shock. And then, of course, translating it, Christmas balls, into Norwegian sounds really funny, because it's not,
but
Christmas
I think a
baubles.
lot of people in English-speaking people, they also think it's a bit funny, because we get a lot of jokes about the balls when we travel around and talk about them.
Yeah.
When we do book signings and when we do knitting classes, there's a lot of jokes about the balls.
Yeah.
But
and
cool.
It's something you kind of have to deal with because of the way they decided to translate the book. I mean, everybody who is in English, a native English speaker, wouldn't it be Christmas baubles? Wouldn't you think that it should have been Christmas baubles? I mean, Christmas balls is pretty catchy.
In Germany, they call it julekuler.
Well, but I'm talking about the English one. When they put Christmas balls and there's two guys on the cover, I mean, there's bound to be misunderstandings.
Of course.
Now, I want everybody to know, as a disclaimer, we didn't translate the book. The book was written in Norway. The title was Julekuler, which means Christmas baubles in Norwegian. So somebody translated and somebody decided that the title was going to be Christmas balls, and it wasn't us. A lot of people think that, because we speak English and we're on YouTube and we have all these books in English, they think that we're native American English or British English speakers. We're not. We are native Scandinavian, and I speak Swedish. Arne speaks Norwegian, which is basically the same language, more or less. And then when we write a book, it gets translated, and we have no control over the translation. It's the book is translated into English and it's whatever it is, or the book is translated into Japanese and it's whatever it is, or Russian and it's whatever it is.
I have a fun fact for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Some Norwegians, they think it's harder to understand my dialect than understanding Swedish.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's how it works.
So sometimes I'm better understood in Norway than you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people don't get some of the words I'm using.
Yeah, and we've got like 48 jokes that we could tell you.
But we won't.
But we won't, because we are...
and then my tension will be horrible.
Yeah, we are running out of time.
I think I have a tension problem this time.
Yeah?
I see some stitches are a little bit...
Yeah, but you've got enormous pressure on you, Arne.
I know. I'm knitting and talking.
You're knitting, you're talking, and there's a camera here, so that you're not actually doing this peacefully.
Normally I don't have tension problems. Normally.
Yeah. So I think that we should spend the rest of the time telling our listeners and our viewers a little bit about Christmas here in Scandinavia. I think I mentioned in the beginning when we were talking about the Victorian Christmas decorations that we got at the V&A, that we talk a little bit about how we celebrate Christmas around here. And of course, every family has their own traditions. So we're not saying that in Scandinavia, Christmas is celebrated like this. I think that a nice starting point... You did it again.
I did it again.
So,
no. Okay, I start over.
Just start over.
There you
go. So I mean, let's talk about our Christmas traditions, and I mean, we could talk about Christmas in general here. One of the first things I would like to say about Christmas in Scandinavia is that probably because we're in Northern Europe, and we have shorter days. We decided a long time ago that we would celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve, December 24th. That's when we celebrate Christmas. Like in America, I know that everybody runs down on the 25th and just, rip up all the gifts under the tree, and it's done in 2 minutes, and that's Christmas. And then you have a big turkey that you eat. And in Scandinavia, we tend to celebrate in the evening on the 24th.
And we never put, some people do now, I guess, but like traditionally, we didn't put the tree up
until the 23rd.
The 23rd in the evening, that's when you put the tree up. But like in the old days, people put up the tree maybe late in the evening on the 23rd.
Yeah.
So the kids could see the Christmas tree the next morning.
Yeah. So we are pretty much conservative when it comes to that.
We're very old-fashioned.
So for us, we get the Christmas tree and we keep it outside, undecorated, for a few days, and we get it into the house on the 23rd in around 5-ish.
Yeah.
Because it needs to, you need to get the tree in. We have a natural one downstairs. We have a plastic one upstairs, but
no one see it. It looks It looks like so real.
Yeah, but anyway, the one downstairs, it needs to come in and it needs to set for a few hours before we decorate it, stretch or whatever it does.
And the bugs has to leave.
Yeah. And then we get out all our decoration and we decorate the tree in the evening. Listen to Christmas music, get all the decorations, but before the tree. Because we do some decorations before that. We have our Advents.
We put up a little bit, but not
so
too much.
every Sunday there's an Advent. It means that we light a candle in our Advent candle holder, which has 4 candles, so the 4 Sundays of Advent. That's
a nice tradition.
That's lovely. We do our glögg, which is our Christmas wine. Remember, do not boil it because the alcohol will go away. You need a little bit of that, extra sting to keep you going. And we do that every Sunday, light up a candle in our Advent candle holder. So a little bit of decoration is
but
up.
Not much.
And then we do the whole thing on the 23rd.
Yeah.
I brought a tradition that I don't think you had from before, but I brought the tradition of having lutefisk on the 23rd.
Well, we had lutefisk during Christmas.
Yeah, but when I came into the family, I brought that tradition with me because that's what you do. Christmas is all about traditions, and it's all about sharing traditions with your family. And when somebody comes into a family, they can bring their own traditions. And lutefisk, we have that on December 23rd because of me. And I know that Americans know what lutefisk is, and for the people who don't know, it's a fish that is it's first dried in the air, and then it's rehydrated again, but it's done in a very special way. It's a bit difficult to explain, but it's kind of poison.
Not really. Do you know? See, I don't know if people notice, but I'm cheating.
Yeah. But talk about the lutefisk, Arne.
I just cheated again.
Yeah, well, nobody saw it. I didn't see, so it didn't happen. Okay.
When I try to keep the decreasing and talking.
So tell them about the lutefisk, Arne.
The lutefisk, my mother made homemade lutefisk, and that is when you have to clear your oven, the fireplace, and you have to burn birch wood for weeks or months, and then you keep all the ashes from the birch. You keep that in the bucket until you have a lot of it, and then you put the ashes into water, and then you put a potato in the water, and if the potato floats, then you have enough ashes, and then you can then you take the cod, the dry cod, and you use the saw, and you make small pieces of cod, and you put that in the water, and then
with the ash.
In the ash, and then you have to change that. First, it lie there for a long time, and then I don't remember how long. I wrote it down, so I have it somewhere.
Well, let's put it this way. It's an insane fish dish, which kind of, you get the fish by poisoning somehow. And I have no idea this tradition where
so good.
when it came, but one would assume with the Vikings probably.
I don't know.
A
It's
crazy
all-
rich roll kind of thing. But anyway, I love it. We have it. I put it once the fish is ready to be done. It's put in the oven for like 40 minutes with aluminium foil.
And you're good at it. You
I'm
can
really
do
yeah.
really
Oh,
good
my
lutefisk.
lutefisk is
Yeah.
very good.
But you know, some of the lutefisk you get in the stores, when you boil it, it's like white and jello, and that's not good.
I think the word we're looking for the lutefisk is it's prepared with lye. That's what we were gonna say.
And that's what you get. That is what my mother got from the birch ashes.
But anyway, I put it in the oven for 40 minutes. When it comes out, there's a lot of water that kind of comes out of the fish. You don't want it to be gelatin. It needs to be a little bit sturdy, a little bit, there should be some meat there. And then usually serve it with some bacon on top, some green peas, potatoes, and a lovely mustard sauce.
So good.
Or you could put it inside a lefse. Lefse is a Norwegian pancake, I'd like to call it. It's a bread. It's kind of like a pancake made with potatoes and flour, and then you roll it up.
Could we have lutefisk tomorrow?
No, tomorrow we're having salmon. But we're going to be having lutefisk on
lutefisk now.
December 23rd, as always.
It's so good. I
Yeah.
can have it.
Okay, so then we go to December 24th, Christmas Eve. The day is kind of normal.
And then we have
nothing
happen.
Well, you do all the preparations. That's when I do the
Or
dinner.
you just wait for
Well, you
the
do.
clock to be
You do. You sit.
5 o'clock.
You usually sit in the kitchen
I
and
sit
knit,
and wait.
and I do all the cooking. I
Because
do the.
I'm not a good cook.
No, and I love the.
So I'm not cooking.
So I'll do all the whole Christmas dinner. I'll prepare that
Yeah, and I watch
Cinderella
every year.
at 11 o'clock
No,
a.m.
that's not. No, that's on the.
No, that's on 24th.
No, that's on 24th.
Cinderella at 11 o'clock. Arne is watching Cinderella. It's
Every year.
And then we do, and then of course the church bell rings at 5 and in the afternoon, and that's kind of like when you ring in the Christmas. And because Arne comes from a farm, this usually meant
that at 5 o'clock you should be kind of finished with everything because
in the barn.
In the barn, because then Christmas starts. And when we were kids, we were very, very kind of not afraid, but we had respect for the barn and the darkness
and the little
animals
underground
and
people, the
underground,
elves.
the Santa Claus, the Norwegian one. And I remember my grandmother said that on Christmas Eve the animals could talk, so you better behave or treat them nice, because on Christmas Eve they would tell you what they thought about you. So we always gave the cows a little bit extra, also the horses and all the animals. They got a little bit extra on Christmas Eve, extra food.
And you always put a little plate of porridge for Santa. For the elf.
We didn't, but some
people do.
Yeah.
I think your nephews and nieces did.
I think they did, but we didn't dare to go up to the barn after dark, because we saw him once when we were kids.
So basically, 5 o'clock, Christmas is rung in. Some people go to church. We did it 2 years ago because we celebrated Christmas with some close friends, and they go to church on Christmas Eve.
And that was for me, it was the first time since 1974.
But it was a nice Christmas service. Yeah, so anyway, and then after church, you come back, you prepare, you get ready for dinner, and then you eat for hours and hours and hours. If you don't have to unbutton your pants by the end of the dinner, you haven't eaten enough. You need to eat more.
And you eat more.
And then you open your gifts. After dinner, you do the 7 cookies. There's 7, kinds of cookies you need to bake.
In this house is one.
Well, we buy them. It's easier.
Well, hardly never.
Because as I told you already, I'm not a good baker. So I buy my 7 kinds of cookies. And that's how we celebrate Christmas. Open our gifts in the evening after dinner.
To music, nice Christmas music.
Yeah. And then we spend the rest of the Christmas holidays eating.
And skiing.
And skiing, yeah. In Norway, well, yeah, you need to do the skiing because of all the eating. You need to balance it out somehow, otherwise you gain weight.
Yeah.
And in Norway, also, you eat different things depending on where you come from.
Has different traditions.
Yeah, if you come from the north of Norway coast or the south of Norway, which is also the coast, you have cod, boiled cod with a nice sauce made of butter and lemons. It's delicious. If you come from the west of Norway, mainly the west coast, but not the north.
I don't think so. I think it's the west.
It's the west coast. You have lamb, and it's dried lamb.
So
it's racks of lamb. They've been dried in the air. They're salty. You're supposed to steam it. First, put it in water, and then you steam it for 3 hours on birch, and have that with a wonderful mashed potato. And it's really, really good. And we're from the east, or Arne is from the east of Norway, and we live in the east of Norway.
The east and the south.
So we have the traditional everything you can eat from a pig. So it's the ribs and the meatballs and the sausages and the cabbage, lots of cabbage. Think German, sauerkrauts, and there's a red cabbage as well that is done with cinnamon. It's really, really good. And yeah, and those are the different Christmas things we eat. Then we dance around the tree if they're kids, unless you have a really ugly tree and you need to put it in the corner to hide one of the sides.
Then you don't.
Then you don't, yeah.
Then it's hard to dance around it.
And I think that we should also tell everybody about our Christmas trees, because we don't have one, do we?
No, we have. We're working on the third one.
Yeah, and this year we're going to have 4, but one of them is a surprise. We won't tell you now.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Surprise.
Yeah. No, then we're working on the 4th, because we have 3 already. So we have one. That's like the nice tree that we show to guests.
That's the one we spend money on, meaning we buy it. And it's not, like any Christmas tree. It's a special birch tree where that doesn't flake. No, sorry, not birch. Pine tree. It's a special pine tree, and it doesn't shed.
No, they say it doesn't shed.
Well, if you don't water
in this
it.
house, they shed.
Okay, well,
a little bit.
Unless we forget to water it, yeah.
But not as much as the one like the normal one.
Anyway, we spend an obscene amount of money on that tree every year, and then we decorate it with Christmas balls and golden ornaments and beautiful little lights that we bought.
That's very organized. Very organized.
It's a designer tree.
Yeah. And then the other one, the plastic tree that looks normal, has everything.
Well, everything. It does not have Arne's tinsel, for sure.
No, not my tinsel. That's going to the garage. But we have like things we got from our family, things from kids, like shotkas we bought in flea markets.
So yeah, I have this rattle that is a rabbit. It's silver, and then it has a handle. I think it's made of bone.
Yeah.
And it's blue, yeah. And, I didn't really have any use for that anymore. Probably when I was a very small child, I did listen to the sound.
I guess you can't remember when you used it.
So anyway, that went up on the Christmas tree.
And that's really nice on the Christmas tree.
Then I have this thing for tea that belonged to my grandmother. It was also in silver.
Yeah, and no one used those things anymore.
No. It was like a silver shifter of some sort.
It looks like a lace crochet.
It's beautiful.
Thing. It's really beautiful.
That went on the tree.
That's a nice ornament.
And then one Christmas, Arne's niece, she must have been 4 years old.
Yeah,
at kindergarten, she made a bullfinch, a felted bullfinch. It's actually just a mush of wool in black, red, and white.
And
it's just mushed up. But you can, if you use your imagination and kind of close your eyes, you can see a bullfinch.
It's like a bullfinch that's been run over by a truck or something.
25 times.
25 times.
But we love it.
Still on the Christmas tree.
We love her bullfinch. It's such a sweet little thing. So that's on the tree, along with a lot of other things. The Victorian Christmas decorations we mentioned before are on the tree as well.
I heard on the radio this interior guy. He said he would never dream about having something a kid made on the Christmas tree because it should be stylish.
Oh, who cares?
That is bull.
I love the things that were made by your nieces and by my nephew, and that were
I
giving
think that's nice.
with love. And of course, they also have a place in the tree. They deserve to be there.
They deserve to be in the tree. Who do they want to impress?
And why should you have a designer tree? I mean, we have a designer tree, but we also have another tree.
But well, it's not that kind of design.
No, it's no.
It's not like what the fashion or the magazines tell you.
Look at what you've done. And I mean, we've been talking. And remember, this is not a tutorial. We've just had a wonderful conversation about Christmas traditions, and everything else that we love doing in the season, as we have been knitting this ball. Well, I have to say Arne has been knitting this ball.
And I made some mistakes. So if someone thinks that's horrible,
it's their problem.
don't think about it.
It's been great revisiting all those wonderful memories that we've had with the book, and talking about our Christmas traditions makes me look even more, I'm looking so much forward to getting Christmas started this year. Here's the ready-made ball. It's all finished, fresh out of the knitting needles.
Ready for steaming.
Ready for steaming and filling. But we're not going to do this on video. You've already seen it. We did it on the very first video we posted here 2 years ago. So just go back to that, have a look at that, and you can do all the finishing touches yourself. So while you knit your own Christmas balls, Arne and I are going to continue preparing ourselves for Christmas. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you like what you see
Thank you.
or hear. Bye.
Bye.